the Denver Nuggets. 119-107 was the final score last night. Denver, a little bit more firepower. That series is only defined as whether the side characters, the side actions, or I should say the Michael Porters of the world, or the Jamal Murrays of the world, or Christian Browns of the world, if two of them show up, Nuggets are as good a chance as any to beat the Thunder head-to-head in any game. But if they don't show up and they can't throw a ball in the ocean from the beach, then that's where they get killed. It sounds simple, but it really is the difference of one or two role players that are able to kind of carry a bit of load away from Jokic, and then they're in the game. That's it. That's the bottom line. If they are hitting their shots, if Christian Brown is hitting his shots, and if Jamal Murray can hit a couple shots, they're right in the mix there. And I think they'll beat the Thunder on Sunday.
Jalen Williams and Lou Dort were terrible in the game. Dort, decent enough defensively, but at the same time, you let Christian Brown go for 23 points. Listen, if Christian Brown, to your point, is going to score 23 points, they're going to win the championship. So I don't expect that to continue in Oklahoma City, but this is an experience.
Got a good postseason, yeah.
We've been saying all postseason long that this Denver group is experienced. Are they without a true head coach? Do they have an interim head coach? Yes. But I think the Joker, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon, I know Gordon kind of had a tough game, 5 points, but I think those three are the guys you look at that team and go, all right, they're the leaders of the team. We're going to rally behind them. And I think you saw that last night at home, too. I like those jerseys, by the way. Quick side note. I like those, 2,800 and it's how many miles?
5,280.
Yeah, it's how many miles Denver is up from the sea. I really like those jerseys. Back to the point. I don't know if they're going to have what it takes in Game 7 in Oklahoma City. I thought Gilgeous-Alexander was brilliant in the game. I thought him and Chet Holmgren were great. I thought the others failed them. We'll see. That place is going to be rocking in Oklahoma City. I still lean Oklahoma City in Game 7. Maybe it's foolish. Maybe I'm the one who needs to realize that Denver in a Game 7, an experienced group, is probably dangerous. But I'm going to go with the team that's kind of been the best team all season long. I'm going to continue to do it with Oklahoma City.
It's the battle of the second and third. The theme of that series has been the battle of the second and third option. And if the Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgrens can consistently show up, OKC has a very good chance at winning. And if it's the other side, if the Michael Porters, the Jamal Murrays, Aaron Gordon, if two of those players can show up on Denver's side, then they win the game. It has been that type of series. The one thing I'll say about Denver is Denver wins the important game. They did it in the Clippers series. They know what game they almost have to win, and they'll win it. So that tells me that they're going to be a very dangerous out. Doesn't matter if it's in Oklahoma City, because they did it against the Clippers too. They won that crucial Game 4 on the game winner, and it changed the series with Aaron Gordon on the putback against the Clippers, where they in danger of falling down 3-1. They tied it up at 2-2. Then all of a sudden they had a Game 5 at home in the first round. They have to win that game. That is a must-win game, especially tied at 2-2. You don't want to be down 3-2 going back to their building, and they won that game.
Yeah.
And they won Game 7. They win the important game. They did it again in the OKC game. They got to steal one in Oklahoma City, and they got to win the first one at home. That's exactly what they did. They won Game 3, and they won Game 1. And the other two, they kind of rolled over and died. Game 4, they couldn't hit anything. And then Game 2 is when they got destroyed by 50 points. So Denver understands, and they didn't win Game 5 that series, but they didn't have Game 5 at home. They had Game 6 at home. So they won the important game there. Denver understands the important game in a series. And It sounds weird. Maybe this is a media thing that I'm running away with, but the important game in a series is understanding that you got to be either tied or up a game, going back with something advantageous. Game 7, advantage Denver, in my opinion.
Even on Oklahoma City's home court, it's fascinating to think about. I still lean Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder. They're the deep team. I don't expect Jalen Williams to go 3 of 16. They could go 5. They played a lot of guys on their bench last night too. I mean, Caruso played 27 million. 27 million.
Well, Gilgeous-Alexander got in foul trouble at the end of the first half.
Cason Wallace played 27 minutes as well. I've been saying this all postseason long with teams like the Knicks and even the Denver Nuggets. The Joker played 40. Murray played 42. Is there a point where these guys are going to run out of gas at any point? That's why the Celtics are able to push it to Game 7. I wonder if the Knicks are going to have enough legs to keep going with all their players. So I lean Oklahoma City because they have more depth. They're younger. I think the star and Gilgeous-Alexander will step up at home. He's been great all series long. Now, we could sit here and say that the Joker and Gilgeous-Alexander kind of even each other out. I'll listen to that. But I'm banking on the Oklahoma City Thunder role players having a better game at home than Denver comparatively.
And it's all about closing a game. Each side has had their own little chance at closing a game. Game 4, that was the OKC Thunder, really being able to close a game late. Did that in Game 5 as well, but also in Game 1. That was all the Denver Nuggets being able to close a game. And you saw last night, they've had opportunities either side at closing a game, which is basically paramount if you want to win in the postseason, is understanding how to get back into a game or how to win a game when you're already ahead. And both sides have shown that. My perspective is if I'm Jokic, I need 20 points out of 2 role players, and then we're in the game. That's what I need. I need 21 points out of Christian Brown, and I need 20-something points out of Jamal Murray, and then I'm in the game. If I get an 11 points from Michael Porter and 8 points from Aaron Gordon and 17 points from Jamal Murray, we're in a lot of trouble. Because Jokic is going to do what Jokic does. And I give the Nuggets credit. I want to shift me to the next point. If the Nuggets are able to win this series, that's 14 games they played in the postseason thus far, 2 Game 7 series, and in games where they were on the outside looking in for a decent portion of both. Does it say anything about the importance and really the power dynamic where a coach lies amongst the team if Denver is able to figure this out?
This Denver team isn't helping, I think, NBA head coaches right now.
No, right.
It's not doing NBA head coaches any favors right now, because when you have the best player in the league, and I understand Gilgeous-Alexander and the MVP, whatever, but Joker's the best player in the league. Let's be honest with ourselves. When you have that, that's a big factor. And I go back to even LeBron-led teams. I think the only coach that you could write home about with Bron was Eric Spoelstra. And I love Tyronn Lue. I thought when Lue came in, he understood what he had to do. Spoelstra was the only X's and O's coach I think LeBron ever played with. But it's that same factor. When you have the best player on the planet, you're able to do a lot of things. And I think it's bad business for head coaches around the NBA right now to see that Denver team. And I like the point you brought up. How about that? Denver, a team that, in my opinion, I kind of wrote off before the end of the year because they fired their head coach 5 games left of the regular season. Comparatively with Oklahoma City, if they lose this series, Oklahoma City, this is a tremendous failure. Denver's playing with house money in that sense. Denver doesn't have a head coach. No one expected them to be here. No one expected them to be in the series against Oklahoma City. There are a lot of people saying that Denver wasn't going to win another game when Oklahoma City.
Taking them to 7 is a success in itself.
And that's why, and maybe you're onto something with advantage Denver in this game, because they're playing with house money. All the pressure is on Oklahoma City at home at this point because no one expected the Nuggets to be in this point right now.
And if you're in other coaches, think about this. They got rid of Mike Malone and Calvin Booth, their general manager. Mike Malone was their head coach in Game 79. So with 3 games remaining, that was 17 games ago, essentially, 16 games ago. And they just rolled out David Abelman. And I'm not saying Abelman does nothing, but I look out the court and it's close. And
they play pick and roll,
ISO. He doesn't have a lot to say. Let's just put it that way.
Kyle, it's Jamal Murray, go get a shot.
He doesn't have a lot to say.
All right, Joker, go give Jamal a screen. All right, let's give it to the Joker down low. That's the offense.
Just dribble handoffs. But point being is it just goes to show that almost for a head coach, especially in the NBA, it is more about, and we talked about this a little bit, but I think it's being reinforced. It depends on the coach, yes. It depends on the situation, yes. But it's more about the head coach's relationship with the best players on the team than it is his ability to coach and win a game. It is more about how he sits amongst the power dynamic and amongst the relationship building amongst the players comparatively to whether he is the smartest basketball mind in the room or not. Because I'd make an argument that Jokic is probably the smartest basketball room in the Denver Nuggets locker room, but it's all about whether this guy can manage a game in terms of substitutions, understand maybe I got to go this guy versus that, Julian Strather, who came off the bench for them late and made a couple plays. That's the type of thing that Abelman makes. But ultimately, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of it all, it just goes to show that, getting rid of a coach 3 games left, it's not necessarily a death sentence, and we thought it would be.
Yep.
And I think it's just putting a testament to the fact that the NBA head coach, the status of that power takes a bit of a knock here.
Well, do they just roll with Abelman next year? If I'm pronouncing that right?
Yeah, they'd have to.
If they go to a Western Conference Finals.
But the thing is, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because it's all about what coach will resonate with Jokic. It wouldn't even matter about the playoff success.